Well, China has been maintaining GDP around 5% in the past few years. What do you oversee China's economy and its contribution to the whole world economy growth?
China is not only very dynamic, it's the main trading partner of most of the world, but it's also technologically extraordinarily dynamic, and this is very, very important. Whether it's AI and DeepSeek, of course, we all know about that in the world, but also China is now the leader by far of electric vehicles. China is going to be the leader of the new robotics generation, the humanoid robots that are coming. China is the leader of renewable energy technologies. China is the leader in fourth generation nuclear power. The point is, these are the technologies that are needed all over the world for the green transformation, for climate safety, and for the digital transformation. So in my view, China's playing a role not only as a world major economy, of course, but also as a technological leader.
What do you foresee for going on trade war, right, tariff war? Do you think that harms global growth? That harms both bilateral relationship between, U.S. to Canada, U.S. to Mexico, particularly U.S. to China? What do you foresee the effect of this trade war?
I think, unfortunately, Trump believes in protectionism. I don't. I'm an economist. I believe in open trade, open markets, mutual gain. I believe that the U.S.-China trade over the last 40 years has been hugely beneficial, both for China and the United States. But I do believe that Trump is a protectionist, and he's likely to pursue this course. What does it mean for China? It means that the rest of the world, China and the rest of the world, should say, okay, if the U.S. wants to be protectionist and isolate itself, that's one thing, but we are going to continue our open trade policy. So I'm hoping that China and, of course, the other countries of the BRICS, and I'm hoping the European Union, very important, and I know that the emerging markets and developing countries of the world all want to say, if the U.S. is protectionist, it doesn't stop the rest of us from still having an open, dynamic trade and finance relationship. That's how this should be approached. Of course, I'm trying to talk the U.S. out of protectionism because I don't think it's good for the U.S. But for China, rather than anguishing or saying, well, now we have to just boost consumption or something else, China can also expand exports to other regions of the world and also expand investments in other regions of the world for Chinese technologies to be producing in ASEAN or to be producing in companies in Africa, in Europe, I hope, and so on.
Well, it sounds like you are such a blessing to American economy, to the world economy. Do you think that the world is going to track globalism or protectionism or global cooperation or individualism? What do you foresee?
I think that broadly speaking, we're still in a globally interconnected world with the benefits of globalization. The United States has lost its nerve a little bit. China's rise has scared the U.S. Now they're protectionist. Not a good idea. I hope that the United States returns to normal openness with more confidence and yes, go out and compete, make business, but don't be protectionist. This is what I'm hoping. But I do believe that most of the world wants an open economy and trading system and cooperation. I should add that I'm a very big fan of the Belt and Road Initiative, because the Belt and Road Initiative brings technology, trade, jobs, finance all together to expand the world economy. And so I think what China is leading with the Belt and Road Initiative is extremely important for the world, but also excellent for China in building those strong economic relations with the rest of the world.
Yeah, talking about Belt and Road Initiative, are you optimistic about Belt and Road Initiative for the next 4 years? Or what is your,
I'd say go for it and expand it. My one little piece of advice is, for the poorer countries, I hope China makes the loans longer term, because if the loans are short term, well, then these poor countries won't be able to pay. But if they're long term, what China is going to do is promote economic growth. rapid growth in Africa, rapid growth in Southeast Asia. Give enough time, and then that's going to be good returns on all of that finance.
Yeah. Historically, the Chinese has been acting as peacemaker and the business merchandiser, right, across the Silk Road, right? But some media networks claiming China is playing threat to certain countries in Africa, in Middle East. Do you think the Chinese companies, are they making constructive improvements such as infrastructure, constructions, right, technology transfer in those continents, Africa, Middle East, Asia?
Not only do I believe it, I see it on the ground with my own eyes. I was recently in Ethiopia, and I was visiting farmers that were making far more money than they were before. Why? China helped provide electrification, and China provided rail from Addis Ababa to Djibouti. Now these farmers are growing cash crops, making a lot of money because the infrastructure is there. That's what China made possible. So I haven't seen any threats, only the benefits of trade and investment. This is my own experience with my own eyes.
That is the solution to end poverty in Africa.
It is, because China grew so fast between 1980 and today. Africa can achieve very, very rapid growth, but it needs investment, training, skills. But China's a kind of roadmap for that. So I tell my African friends and counterparts, look at what China achieved. You should go the same route.
Professor Sachs, you are a renowned economist. You are so famous in economy policies. What do you want to suggest Chinese leaders? What do they need to do to continue to make economy better, to contribute to global economy?
China is making wonderful initiatives, seeing itself not only as a very dynamic, successful economy, but also as helping the whole world to achieve this. The Global Development Initiative, the Global Civilizations Initiative, the Belt and Road Initiative. So I encourage China to continue to play that role, inspiring the whole world, partnering with the world, trading with the world, investing in the world, and keeping this very distinctive, high innovation economy, and helping to lead also the ecological transformation that the whole world needs, because China's building the technologies for the ecological transformation as well. Very important.
Well, last two questions. Since you mentioned about Chinese economy, but there are millions of Chinese entrepreneur, manufacturer, owner, right? What do you want to tell them? Suggest them what do they need to do to adapt their business, right? Because if the tariff war goes on, right, a lot of factories, they might have to shift their business here and there, or they might have to close down or bankrupt.
Well, I think the main point is look not only for the U.S. market, but China is at the cutting edge of so many technologies, also is so cost efficient, so competitive. There's markets in Africa, there's markets in ASEAN, there's markets in Central Asia, all over the world. So don't, if you're being hit by the U.S., okay, change to another direction.